In this video, we'll see how to use the TI calculator to find summary statistics for a single set of data and then also data that's presented in a frequency table. So on your calculator, we want to first of all take a look at the example from notes. The data below represent wait times in seconds at McDonald's drive-through window. So what we want to do first is enter that data into a list. And the way we do that is we go over here and press the Stat key, Edit, and we have our lists across the top. If you have something in your list, to clear it, you can put the arrow up here, list 1, hit clear, and then enter, and your list will be cleared. So we want to type in our data, 289, click enter after each, 128, 92, 267, 176, 240, 192, 118, 153, 254, 193, 136. And you double check and make sure they're in there correctly. And let's say you did make a mistake, you can arrow up to wherever you made a mistake and you can retype the right value and hit enter and it will correct the mistake. So once you get the values typed into this case list 1, now we go back to second mode to quit. There's quit up here. If we hit second quit, then that'll save our values in our list without trying to type more values in the list. Then our next, we press the Stat key, arrow over to calculate, and what we want are one variable statistics, click enter, and we want to tell it which list. So there's a little L1 printed above the number 1, so you hit second, then the number 1, it'll print L1, click on enter, and here are the statistics. We don't need all of them, but the first one, X bar, is the mean. So the mean wait time at McDonald's was 186.5 seconds. This means the sum of all the values. This is the sum of all the values squared. S is the next value we need. This is the standard deviation. So the standard deviation of our wait time was about 64.18 seconds. This is the population standard deviation. We just have a sample of wait times, so that's S. N tells us how many in our sample, and that arrow means keep going. This will also give us our 5-number summary, our minimum of 92, first quartile 132, median 184, third quartile 247, and a maximum of 289. So that's what the calculator will give us. It won't give us the range. We would have to subtract maximum minus minimum to get that. It also doesn't give us the mode. We would have to go to the data set and take a look. So that's what our calculator will do. StatCrunch will give you more information, but the calculator is pretty handy. Alright, now we'll also have to find summary statistics of a frequency table. And what we do here, this is from our examples in notes as well. The data below are speeds of drivers in a 30-mile-per-hour speed zone. We don't have the actual data values, so we estimate them with the midpoint of each class. So this table means that there were 25 drivers that were driving somewhere in between and including 42 to 45 miles per hour. 14 drivers were driving this speed. So if you thought about these as individual data, there would be 25 of these, 14, 7, 3, and 1. So instead of having to type in 25 of the same value, 14 of the same value, we can use the calculator and put frequencies as well as data values in, and it will automatically do that for us. So to get our data to something we can enter in lists, first thing we do is find the midpoint of each class. And if you take 42 plus 45 and divide by 2, that gives us 43.5. And I did the same thing with each of the classes above. So once you have your data with the midpoints of your classes and the frequencies, then we enter those into list 1 and frequencies into list 2. Okay, so on our calculator, when we go over to, let me clear it. Stat, Edit. Notice I still have list 1 in there, so I'm going to arrow up to the top, hit clear. Notice it clears out here, that hit enter, and it will take the items out of the list. So now I want to type in my midpoints, 43.5, 47.5, 51.5, 55.5, and 59.5. Once those are in, we arrow over to list 2 and enter our frequencies, 25, 14, 7, 3, and 1. So we've got our data values that we're estimating in list 1 and the frequencies of each in list 2. Then we hit second, quit, and now we're going to calculate, hit the stat key over to calculate one variable stats again, except this time we need to tell the calculator L1 and then comma L2. That tells the calculator to use the values in list 1 and the frequencies in list 2. Click on enter. So the mean speed is 46.78 miles per hour. Again, this represents the sum. This is square each of the values and add them together. Our standard deviation is 4.095 or about 4.1. N is 50, so we had 50 values. This saves us from having to type in 50 values. And then our 5-number summary below. Something else the calculator won't give you is the variance. It just gives us standard deviation. So if you square that value, you'll get the variance. All right, I hope that was helpful. That should save a lot of time on some of the homework problems.